Have you guys noticed that the flashlight on your weapon just doesn't work? Oh, hang on. I got my searchlights. Duh. That's right, Mr. Piggy. The darkness is no longer your ally. Nighttime and base defense is about to suck a lot less thanks to the new searchlight trickery that I'm about to show you. It follows the center of your screen, it has 360-degree panning views, and if you need that extra layer of defense, you can make it strobe. Keep in mind that this isn't a generous feature that was recently added by Facepunch. This is the same old searchlight you've always had before, except we're manipulating it to work in our favor. A huge shout out to Oil Team's electrician Array, the inventor of this sexy little technique. Now let's show you how to build it. We are at our fictitious base. Now to get this spotlight to work, we need to be positioned half building height underneath the light. I'm going to be using a triangular tile to stand on. This is our fictitious rooftop where the light's going to stand. And at the bottom I've got my TC and my fictitious circuit that's powering one green light. I place a searchlight on my roof as close to the edge as possible so that I can aim my light directly down and expose the filthy door campers. On the side of where I'm going to be shooting out of, I'm placing a push button, and on the right a regular switch. Please forgive me while I explain to you the circuit like you're 6 years old and know nothing about electricity. Like I said before, we have a fictitious circuit at the bottom here, we have a battery, we also have a solar wind turbine. This battery has an output that is running to this green light. Now I'm going to place my branch in between the existing outputs of the battery and the green light so that I can branch off electricity going to the smart light. I'm going to configure the branch so that we can branch out 15 rust watts. Back on the shooting floor, we're going to place down a memory cell, a blocker, as well as an XOR switch. I'm going to switch over to blue wiring so that you guys don't get confused with the bottom circuit. On the left hand side of that branch that we set to 15, we're going to wire that back up to the main switch to turn the light on. On the output side of the switch, we're going to turn around the wiring, bring it down and insert it to the power in slot on the memory cell. On the left hand inverted output of the memory cell, we connect it to the power in of the blocker. From the output side of the blocker, we connect it up and around nice and neatly to the input A side of the XOR switch. From the regular output of the memory cell, we wire it straight to input B of the XOR. Now out the top of the XOR switch, we connect it to the input side of the searchlight. From the pass-through of the searchlight, we're going to bring the wire back round to the bottom, keeping wires nice and neatly so you don't get confused. Swing it over to the blocker side of the blocker. Now our final cable is to connect the toggle side of the memory cell to that push button on the left of your shooting window. And presto, we are 100% done. There we go, it's working, but the strobe light is on. Remember, we push the push button to toggle the strobing on and off. There we go. Keep in mind that that push button, once depressed, lasts for 5 seconds, so you can't toggle it on and off very quickly. You have to wait 5 seconds before you can toggle the strobe on and off. Now let's talk technique. It is a little bright, let's make it darker. Outstanding. We have our circuit here ready to go. Turn on our floodlight and you can see it is not following my gun. I look up at where the floodlight should be, I push E to use, and now the floodlight follows my weapon. Push E, you stop using it, it's aiming up. Push E again to grab it. I can activate the strobe light. And if I need to lock it in place, all I have to do is hold in my Alt key, which won't move my weapon, look up, push E, and then it releases my lock of the searchlight, allowing me to defend in a different location and potentially confuse enemies. The great thing about this technique is you don't need a weapon in hand in order to make it work. You can emote, you can do what you want to. You can even move around a bit to a certain extent, where if you need to start peeking down or looking around corners and stuff, it allows for a little bit of extra movement. Due to this technique only being at half building height, you are going to have to get creative when it comes to defending it. I found that the window slot is a little bit too low, so you're going to have to take this technique and figure out ways on how to implement it safely. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this Searchlight guide, please hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't subbed, please do so. To my darling, sexy, gorgeous, beautiful Patreons, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for watching. And until next time, Flak out.